All right, guys, welcome to the vlog and the podcast today. We're doing something a little different today. This will be uploaded to our podcast. It's also going to be our vlog for today. So we took questions on Instagram. It was a Ask Us Anything, so I have no idea where this is going to go. We've kind of been screenshotting on our phones all the best questions we wanted to get to. We probably won't get to all of them. Thanks to everybody that submitted questions on Instagram. And let's just jump into it.
All right. Hi, guys. I will start. I loved this question. It said, your daily quote is, find good in everything. What do you think is positive about the quarantine? And I love that because we have to focus on the positive right now, because otherwise we're all going to lose our minds. And that is one of my biggest concerns right now too. I think a lot of people are only focusing on the coronavirus and what's happening and looking at the numbers and obsessing over the news and worrying and like looking at all the bad. And the more you look at that, the more it's just going to like throw you in a downward spiral. So instead, I think it's healthy to be aware. I don't think you should stop looking at the news completely, because you do need to be aware and it is real and we need to do something about it.
I think you should maybe check in once a day and see if there's any drastic change that's happening, but obsessing over every little article, because it's full of just headlines. They're all about, like, YouTubers use clickbait titles and the media uses clickbait titles. Some of them aren't even new.
That's just how it is.
Yeah, they're going to use these extreme titles to catch your attention.
Well, and find a reliable source that has the information you need. Like, I've been checking cases. I look up in our local news station about anything that the governor has said, like if there's a new stay-in-place order or whatever for each county, because they're all different. We live in a county that hasn't been locked down as drastically as like Salt Lake County, that has had a lot more deaths and they're locked down a lot more. Anyway, my point is you need to start focusing on the good. So the way we've been doing that is limiting how often we check things. And then I feel like also just being totally aware of all of your blessings. If it's small and simple, it doesn't matter. Take mental note of it. Also, a huge thing has been going on walks and getting outside in the fresh air. It is so good for you, and it's seriously, like, just seeing a bird fly by my face, I'm just like, oh, it's so pretty. Or looking at the snow on the mountains, it's beautiful. And then I'm like, oh, look how blessed we are. Look how beautiful that is. Even if it's as simple as that, focusing on the good. And then also, I mean, let's be honest, with the kids at home, it is a roller coaster. So there's like a lot of good and a lot of bad. But if you kind of pinpoint in and focus on the good and try to like create more of that, it's going to be better for everyone. And I keep telling myself, like, what are my kids going to remember from this? Is it going to be that we sat down and played a lot of board games together and maybe even played some video games together, had some movie nights? Or are they just going to remember being scared because I was like in my phone obsessing over everything negative out there? And I also think it's healthy to like balance and realize this is only a small part of what's going on. There's still, like, all the other diseases and everything that are out there are still out there. It's not like the only thing we're worrying about now is corona. You have to balance. You have to realize, like, maybe it is best for you to go to the doctor because you have some weird bump that needs to be checked out. Like, if you're ignoring cancer because you're afraid to leave your house for corona, like, you're really not. You know what I mean? You need to balance. You need to be healthy in your perspective of what's going on. And I found to help us also has been scripture study and prayer have really helped us to kind of like, it eases my mind. I feel like it's a blessing from the Spirit. Like, the Holy Ghost can comfort you in ways that you can't get from any post on Facebook or Instagram or social media or news report. The comfort can come from personal revelation, and that's the only way to get it, is having that relationship with Heavenly Father and praying, and your mind will be put at ease and you can be inspired on what things are okay for you to do and not. And if you can't rely on that, it'd be a lot more scary for me. Like, that's what's helped me the most.
Yeah. And just on the quarantine note, we've been finding time to like get some space from our kids. Like, we'll just go sit in the bus in quiet for a few minutes. Just, I think most families are struggling. I don't think husbands and wives are used to being home all day together, and we're not used to having our kids with us all day, and it's fun and great, but I think you definitely need your space. So find some time that's quiet, whether you're just locking yourself on the toilet or in a storage room, or I don't know.
In the garage, in the car.
That you're not looking at your phone and you're just being, and you're just there, and you get that space. You need to stay mentally sane and just get some space.
And if you're in a really hard spot, I know that a lot of people have lost their jobs. Like, focus on the fact that this is not going to be like this forever. You have to have hope that it's going to be better, and just hang on. Like, don't dwell on all the crap, and try to like have that perspective of hope.
On the same note, this is by Lily Cato 7. How are you guys holding up and handling your kids during quarantine? Same thing, like our kids, they're doing fine. The biggest thing is they miss their friends, but I think generally they're pretty used to, like, especially in the summertime, being with both parents all the time. And I mean, biggest differences in our lives are we're not able to go out and do activities, go to a rock climbing gym, go to a trampoline house.
Or a movie. Go
to the movies. There's all these activities that we enjoy doing that we just can't do. So we are doing other things. Like April said, we're playing board games. We do give them a little bit of screen time each day. We try to keep that as a limit. We're going on family walks, which is something we've very rarely done before all this started. Mm-hmm. We're walking like a whole mile together, or going on a hike up a little hill. So lots of fun things, just spending time together as a family. And
there's a lot of questions. I'm going to just address this really quick right now. There's like 1,000 questions of if we want to have more kids, or if we're going to have any more kids. No, we're totally done permanently, and I feel good about it. So that's all I'm going to say about that. I'm going to address one more question here. It says, what are people's biggest incorrect assumptions about you? And I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't know, and I don't care. There's a lot of opinions out there, and honestly, I don't care about any of them. I mean, there's a lot of good and bad opinions out there. And like, I'm not saying I don't care about those people, because I do. I care about people. I love people. Even people that are unkind to me, I still feel love for them, or try to. And if I don't, I hit my knees and try to feel love for them. But the point is that no one else's opinion of you really matters, except for, like, I put God's opinion first. And if I feel like I'm in good standing with him, no one else's opinion matters. And I hope that you guys can see that and feel the same, because it doesn't matter what assumptions people make about me. I really could care less. And I know that I'm doing my best to live my life as well as I can, and do what I feel inspired through personal revelation, through prayer, through trying to align my will with God's. And if I'm doing that, that's all I can do. There's nothing else, and nothing else really matters. So
that's a good question. Too often people spend a good portion of their lives just trying to please others, and they're so worried about how they look online, or how they look to their neighborhood or their neighbors, just trying to...
The need to be seen as a certain way.
They need to be seen a certain way, as rich or happy or whatever. And just try to... The best thing you can do is live within your values, and always be trying to improve yourself, comparing yourself only with yourself and not with those around you, and just doing your best, and stop worrying about how you look to other people.
And trying to get out of focusing on yourself sometimes. Sometimes you need to turn your focus to helping other people. And I feel like I'm going to address one more thing with this, is there's a lot of judgment going around with this whole pandemic. Even we've caught ourselves doing it too. Davey will go to the grocery store and see someone not wearing a mask, and he'll like in his head be like, oh my gosh, why aren't they wearing a mask? Okay, just because someone should be doing something does not still give us all the right to like dwell on it and judge people. So we have to catch ourselves doing it too. But it's like a good reminder of like, you should be wearing a mask if you feel like that's what you should be doing. And then if you want to be a good example for other people, do it and like hope. But you can't sit there and like dwell on and get mad at other people for not doing exactly what you think they should do when you think they should do it. It's just not how things work. Otherwise, you're going to be miserable.
Yeah, I like it.
So yeah, let's try not to judge other people. Just give them the benefit of the doubt. That's always the best option.
A friend of ours tweeted the other day, they said, I can tell exactly how judgmental somebody is just by looking at them.
It made me laugh out loud. It was actually Sean McKnight. We love him. You want to answer the next one?
There was a series of questions about exchange students. Nothing has been canceled. Everything's just on hold. We've applied for an exchange student and they've accepted us, and we are just waiting to see our school district. Everything's just on hold. So
I don't think that anything will happen as far as final decisions with that until it's like a month before, like when they're actually purchasing plane tickets, because we don't know what the future looks like. Honestly, if anyone tells you they know what the future looks like, they're lying to you, because even if they can make the best assumption, it's still not reality until it actually happens. So that's why, like, worrying about it does no good. Being aware of it and doing your part and doing what you feel is right is the best thing. But worrying about what the future is, it doesn't do anything.
I sincerely hope that we can get somewhat back to a somewhat normal life, that people can get back to work and the economy can recover, and we want to just
and the flights from Europe's open back up
be able to hug people again. We hope that can happen as soon as possible, but there's a lot of people working hard on when that can happen, and everybody's just trying to stay safe right now. So everything's just kind of on hold right now, and we'll just hope for the best.
Yeah, and I want to address that too, as far as like what is safe. I feel like you can do the best you can, and still feeling safe is more of an emotion. It's not even a reality, because you think that you're safe from one thing and then you can have a heart attack the next day. Like, you really feeling of safety it's important and it's necessary, but it's also like if you're worrying about being safe too much to where it's like savagely taking away your happiness, then you're not safe, because mentally you're not safe. So that's where hope and faith come in. Like, you have to base your thoughts in hope and faith so that you can move on. And it is seriously the antidote to fear. I'm telling you guys, if you are feeling fearful, pray for faith, and have hope. That is my biggest advice.
And I think, for me, the biggest comfort has always been that I know that God is aware of us. He knows how we feel. He knows what we're thinking. He's 100% aware of us. He's not going to prevent bad things from happening to us, but if we reach out to him, he will be there to comfort us and get us through whatever's happening.
And just because we're preaching this does not mean we think we're perfect and we always make the right decisions. No, we screw up. We make mistakes, but we know, even though we make those mistakes, he's still there for us to fall back on, and he's still got us. Like, he's got our back. And he's got your back too, people. So don't worry about it.
Yeah,
My turn? Okay. Here's one. I said, can we get your hair care routine? Yeah.
You should do a whole hair video on that.
I should. I probably will. I should put that up on my hair channel. I'm starting to upload randomly on that again. Today, I just washed it, and then I let it air dry. And I actually really like letting my hair air dry, because it doesn't get as dry and brittle. It feels a little bit more moisturized. And I think it smells a little bit more like the perfume in the shampoo doesn't burn out, so it smells a little bit more strong. So there you go.
My turn? Okay, how do you do church now? This is from Callie Elise 4. It's a really good question. So we are not. It has been called off, just like everything else. No church meetings, we can't go to the temple, nothing. And our church already started not too long ago. We used to do 3 hours of church, and they went down to 2 hours of church and wanted to start encouraging more of a home-centered but church-supported, gospel learning.
We're talking like a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, like very recently.
So real, and it's been like 3-hour church and been like that for, I don't know, 30 years, however long it's been happening, but it's just a very recent change. And they gave us a study manual, and they were encouraged to take that extra hour and spend time learning in our home. And so,
and that's what we're doing.
It's almost like they were preparing us for something like this. And so there wasn't a panic of what
It was such a smooth transition. It's not even funny. And you have to realize also it's the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is the church we belong to. And it is a worldwide church. And this is a worldwide change. It wasn't just like our church in our little area. This is worldwide. It's very massive. It's big. And it was like a flawless transition. It was so beautiful.
And another really big change is part of our weekly worship is we take the sacrament. And it is done with permission from the bishop who's in charge of the ward, the whole congregation. And people with the priesthood pass it around, and it's a very rare thing that you're able to take the sacrament in your home.
This was actually the first time we ever did it.
We've never done it. I have brought it to like elderly ladies before. When people can't go to church, you have to get the bishop. You can't just do it in your home whenever you want. You have to have the bishop's permission. There has to be a good reason for it.
Yeah, you have to have the authority.
Yeah, you have to have the authority and permission. And so it's been. And the stories I'm hearing from everybody, it's such a spiritual experience to have that in your home.
It's really cool.
To take the sacrament in your home. So it's been really special. We've had some really neat experiences in our family, and I'm not sad about it. Like, I'm excited to get back and be with people again.
I'm like, this is actually amazing. Anyway.
It's been really neat. I'm not minding home church at all.
Let's lighten it up a little bit, you guys. It says, are y'all's kids really going to clog? I would love to see that. Okay, yeah, I hope so. I can't force my kids to do anything. I learned this a long time ago. And one of the other questions was, what would you tell yourself, parenting-wise, your younger self? This is what I would tell me. I would say, you have to realize your kids have their own will, and they get to choose what they do and do not do. You can only put in your request and then outline very clear consequences and rewards. Like, it's basically you're making a a family government. So we've done that. My kids know, like, I'm going to tell you to do something, and if you choose not to do it, that's your choice. But these are the things that are going to happen. So I haven't decided what the consequence is going to be if they don't, but they probably won't get to participate in something fun that came from the benefit of doing this as a family. So whatever that is, I'll make it up later. We'll decide as a family. I'll actually let them have a say in it. We'll probably sit down, have a family meeting, decide this is our goal. We're going to reach it. If we reach the goal, this is what we're going to do to reward ourselves. And if you don't want to participate, then fine. But they will have to come to, like, we're going to be practicing it in our house now. We're going to try to learn a routine. And everyone's going to be in the room. If they choose not to do it, then they don't do it. But they're still going to be there. And I'm still making them an outfit. But basically, I can't force them. You can't force people to do things.
April has enjoyed making the costumes. Yes. She is a quite talented seamstress. So it's been like, she's been giddy about making these
they're good
dresses.
From afar, but they're far from good. But that's kind of what I love about them, because I want my kids to be able, in like 15, 20 years, to pull it out and show their friends and laugh about it and be like, look, y'all, my mom literally made this out of fabric, and look how the zipper's all janky. Like, that's the best part about it, is it looks homemade.
I think all kids need a healthy dose of being a little bit uncomfortable. Like, I think kids are so pampered nowadays, and they don't have to do anything hard. I know ours are, at least. So I think it's good to push them a little bit out of their comfort zones.
They're just going to love it. Like, it's going to be different for everyone, because everyone has different opinion in the family.
Yeah, Evie, she tried hers on, and she's just loving it. She's dancing around, kicking, and Ender's like, I'm only doing it to wear the awesome outfit.
It's just Zade and Daisy. It's the older ones, but you know what? If it is hard for them, maybe they come around and they're like, I actually learned this really cool skill, and I like it now. Who knows? I don't know. Don't know the future. Not worried about it. We're going to just go forward.
All right, guys, that wraps it up for part 1 of our Q&A. Tune in tomorrow for the rest of the questions. Thanks for watching. Find good in everything.
Bye.